legal wrangling, we finally took full ownership of James from Chris and Lettuce and Mark. Towards the end of 2003, we bought out his contract. This contract. It seemed only fitting that today I can finally get rid of him and officially pass ownership of James to someone who will look after him, someone who will feed him, keep his alcohol intake regular, who will stroke his face while he sleeps, exactly the same as we've done. This is for you. Alright, no need to read it, promise, it's all completely legal. So I first met James when I was about 16 years old. He went to college with my older sister and they hung out with the same group of friends. But Chris has already told you quite a lot about. In fact, he's obviously told you a bit too much, but I can happily confirm that there was no back shaving done in Benidorm. So, yeah, sorry, you had to do it. Sister used to have to do it. It's all coming out now. So over time, Rich and I saw more and more of James, and we've been close friends for well over 10 years now. Typically, we spent most of those years drinking in the yew tree, which was a large part of our lives until it closed for the last time, about 18 months ago. It's a strange thing, but I'm not the only person to notice that since James left Liversidge and moved in with Joe, a lot of our local pubs have The yew tree was our pub. It stunk a bit. The beer did awful, unmentionable things to your insides. We still loved it. We met a lot of our friends here. They're the ones sat at the back. It's that particular period of our lives that I like to think of as the wonder years. Basically, we spent all the time wondering if James will ever get a normal girlfriend. It's actually quite ironic, the wonder years, given what tonight's entertainment might have in store for us all. For those of you who don't recall, the theme tune to the late 80s TV show was With a Little Help from My Friends, which included the lines, "What would you do if I sang out of tune? Would you stand up and walk out on me? Lend me your ears and I'll sing you a song. I'll try not to sing out of key." Now for anyone who's ever witnessed it firsthand, many people believe that James's love for a bit of Elvis or a blast of Neil Diamond is one of the main reasons he struggled in the dating game from time to time. For those of you yet to be so lucky, only about an hour or so to go, and then we're all off. Although, he hasn't actually said anything to me, but I know him well enough to be absolutely sure he's probably got something planned for later. With karaoke, with a live band. He's like a kid that's just got a hoverboard and the flux capacitor. So as Chris has already mentioned, and I'm sure James will admit himself, he continued to find the dating scene frustrating over the years. This all changed, however, when those clever men that run the internet created dating websites. It was the first time James had ever used the internet with both his socks on. Internet dating was a bit hit and miss for a while. One rubbish day after another, more money spent on bad nights out, trying to impress potential victims. I remember once James had a date with a vet. It was about 4 or 5 years ago. She absolutely adored animals. James wasn't overly keen, but he wanted to show a bit of willing. How old's Elvis?
Joe don't know that.
Being lucky in love continues. But to me, it showed one of James's greatest qualities, perseverance. So James has already mentioned, kind of, we've played squash every week for 2 years now. 5 being away, he's played Jamie, who's run away somewhere, or Iggy's taken the game with him. But the result always remains the same for James. 0 wins in 2 years.
That's nice.
He did play Joe a couple of times. I believe. I haven't seen any Facebook updates about women being rubbish at squash, so I can only assume that Joe will know. More unsuccessful nights out came and went for James, but one day it was different. James came back from a date, but it was pretty quiet about how it had gone. Now, those of us that know James best, we all agree that it was a strange thing indeed. James is absolutely not shy about saying what he thinks. More dates passed, and yet still not much information was forthcoming, other than the odd, yeah, it's okay, she's really nice, she's definitely not meeting you idiots yet. Eventually, though, it was time. It was exciting for me too. My first ever double date with James. Whatever happens on this night out, we're definitely going to have some fun. And then we finally met Joe. It must have been a bit like first date nerves all over again for Joe, because the wine flowed a little quicker than it probably usually would. She got hammered. Gemma and I instantly knew it was a perfect match. Now, James and Joe proved us right somehow, despite Groomzilla over here driving everyone mad for the last 12 months. They do sit here today as man and wife. Joe, I can honestly say that you've broken one of my best friends. It's just not the same anymore. He's a bit more normal now. Believe it or not, he is a bit more normal now. But anyway, for that, the world thanks you. Although chimpanzees as a ring bearer would have been properly honest. Just a quick word as well to Jackie and to Mick. You've known James now long enough to form your own opinions of him. It's a shame we only recently met for the first time. I could have tried to brainwash you with a couple of nice things about him. In all seriousness, the Snow, I can absolutely say that if all you wanted was for Joe to marry a man to look after her, to love her and to adore her, then you can be assured that Joe's found that and more in James. And just a quick note to Helen and to John as well. Despite knowing James for the best part of 20 years, unfortunately our paths have very rarely crossed. John joined us in Leeds a few weeks ago. We went out for our suit fittings. We all went for a couple of drinks afterwards. So it was nice to get to meet you properly, finally. And despite your best fatherly advice, we're all stood here in brown shoes and the blue. Can I also just say that despite what anybody might be thinking, Sam came with us for the suit fitting as well. Unfortunately, he basically spent most of his time looking at his beard in the mirror or demanding to try on bigger clothes because he couldn't get his guns in the Thankfully, there were no forward rolls up the stairs. Although I didn't believe I saw Richard Keswick on the way out. Honestly, I could stand here all day talking about James. There's plenty of ammunition. I could tell you all about why we call him Big Dog. He basically made up his own nickname. I could tell you all about England Man. It's James's alter ego. Details are available on Wikipedia, I do believe. But equally, I could spend just as much time talking about our friendship, and all our friends, and our amazing, funny memories that we all have. I've absolutely no doubt we've got many more yet to create. James, both Chris and I agree we'd have much, much more money if we didn't know you. But we'd both be poorer in so many more ways, but we wouldn't change a thing.
Big year.
Finally, Chris and I would just like to share with James and Joe from our own experiences two very most important things to a long-lasting happy marriage. It's a good sense of humour and a short memory. Which is also the secret to enjoying this speech. So on that, ladies and gentlemen, Chris and I would like to invite you all to please be upstanding, to raise your glasses to James and Joe.